geometric, and then using some still life photography. You can add a short title here and then your mood board. So this one uses more earthy tones. We see some funky, like decorative type of text. Someone who loves dogs. And this is still a pretty clear sans serif with these old style numbers. So maybe this is more of a vintage feel, earthy, somebody who's grounded into plants, animals. So we can just take a look at these different options and think about the different vibes. This might be a younger target audience using brighter neon colors. Maybe it's a vintage vibe. This one really doesn't have enough photos, but you can see how the color combinations all come together. Any questions on target audiences or mood boards before we get into the project that we're going to be working on? All right. So hopefully you guys have watched these videos, mastering mood boards, a little bit of Google Slide tutorials, and then on Pentagram and Marina Willer. So when we go into the project, this is the project sheet. So what we're going to do is start off our designs by understanding who we're designing for. So we're defining a target audience before we get into designing, and we're creating this mood board as a way to develop a visual aesthetic of that design. So you must know your audience demographics, age, income, education, as well as their psychographics or behavioral traits. You want to understand what motivates them, what makes them tick, what their beliefs are, what they value, and what they're afraid of. Your target audience should drive all of your design decisions. So typography, color palette, style of imagery, your layout, etc. For this project in particular, you're going to create 4 mood boards for a flyer advocating for recycling. So each mood board will have to lead to the same call to action, which will be to recycle through Austin Recycle and Reuse Drop-Off Center. But each one will appeal to a different target audience. So they're each going to look different because they're targeting different audiences. You're going to identify the characteristics of an audience, discover the role of those target audiences within your designs, gather information for mood boards for a specific audience, compare those 4 different audiences, and then create 4 mood boards. So this is kind of repetitive here, but you get 20 points per mood board and then 20 points overall for your slides being neatly presented for presentation. So that's how the grade is made up. But you're going to do 1 mood board for a teen audience. And each of these will have at least 4 color swatches, 8 to 10 images, 2 to 3 typefaces, and a descriptive name. So it should have a cohesive visual identity. Your second audience will be a young adult, middle adult, and then retiree. So 4 different audiences. And then we get into defining those audiences a little bit more. So your teen audience is aged 13 to 19. They come from a middle-class family. They depend on their parents for income, so they occasionally make a little bit of money mowing yards, raking leaves, and refereeing kids' soccer games. Most extra money is spent on whatever they want, like video games or candy. They're in the 10th grade and they attend their neighborhood public school. They've gone to school with the same group of kids their whole life. So pretty steady, this is the youngest audience. When we look at their lifestyle, they get up about 5 minutes before leaving school and throw on whatever clothes they want. They make mostly B's at school, but would make all A's if they put forth any effort. After school, they usually play soccer or hang out with a big group of friends, and they know just about every pop culture reference. Some of their hobbies might be soccer, guitar, video games, but really their belief is that there's fun to be had in every situation and they don't take life too seriously. But they know when to be responsible, and they value loyalty, friendship, and adventure. If we look at the second target audience, they're young adults. They're aged 25 to 30, so they're a little bit older than our teens. Their income is unsteady, but they're responsible with money. And they left college to pursue music. So if we look at their lifestyle, they play guitar in an indie rock band. It's been a slow start, but gigs are really picking up. They work in a restaurant to supplement their income. Their days are never routine and they're constantly traveling. So they're on the road a lot. They have big aspirations and are having the time of their life. However, they take their band seriously and try to make smart choices. So their hobbies might be music and drawing. And their belief is doing what you love is more important than money. And they value dreams, ambition, and creativity. So we can start to see the differentiation between target audience 1 and target audience 2. Our third audience are middle adults, age 35 to 55. They're upper middle class and rising. They have advanced degrees. They're intelligent and sharp. They work 50 plus hours a week at a job they love most days. They can get pretty stressed out, but they do yoga and meditation to try to stay zen. They have a partner and 2 kids. Family is a priority for them. So they always turn work off on the weekends to do family things. They have a part-time nanny and a housekeeper, and they always wear luxury brand clothing and eat organic food. So we can already start to tell a little bit more about their values. They travel and take big vacations a couple times a year, yoga, and reading. So they value work, which is important, but also relationships and mental well-being. So family, responsibility, security, and comfort are important to them. Okay, and our last target audience would be retirees age 65 and over. They have a fixed income, but they're comfortable and they're college educated. So they have just retired from a busy career and are looking for ways to fill their time. They have grandkids nearby and are an active part of their lives. Sometimes even help the kids with their carpool. So they love home improvement and they're always in the middle of a DIY project. They are young at heart and are enjoying the slower pace of life. So some of their hobbies might be DIY, home improvements, fishing, cooking, and cooking all types of exotic dishes. They make moments matter and do the right thing because you never know who's watching. So they value quality time, people, decency, and honor. So now that we've defined our 4 target audiences, you can see how different they are and how you might start to connect with them differently through your designs. So we're going to create 4 mood boards in this project slide deck. So this is the slide deck here. You can find it in our module 2. You're going to use this to create your mood board. So you're going to duplicate it, make a copy of the entire presentation, and then include your name in the file name. So for mood board 1, your target is the teen audience. You're going to make a list of 3 words that describe the look and feel or the visual aesthetic you want to convey. Then you'll define the color palette with at least 4 color swatches, define 2 to 3 typefaces, the imagery style with at least 10 images, so that could be photography or illustration, and include a short descriptive name of the mood board. And then you'll put the mood board on this slide right here and give it a title. You'll do that for the young adult audience, the middle adult audience, and the retired audience. Any questions on that?
Yes, I had a question with there's a portion where I guess the points are for the slide presentation. And I wanted to ask, making sure that they're neatly presented. I had some problems, I guess, like trying to get the photos to go inside of the shapes. And I did watch the Google video. It seems like they've made a lot of changes on the Google slides since the video came out. And I also looked online, like random just Google searching, and it was giving me like, I guess, stuff that wasn't updated to try and fix it. But I wanted to ask is, do we need to use like Photoshop to crop the pictures a certain way, or do you prefer a certain way that they need to be formulated to look nice and neat?
So what specifically were you having issues with in the images? Were they like skewing or warping weird?
They were not fitting in like the little like narrow boxes. I tried to make it as small as possible, but also so that you could see them when you were grading it. But
Okay.
that was kind of the issue, is fitting them into the shapes.
Okay. Okay. So we can, yeah, let's go over a little bit of like how to put the images in. I find that really it's easiest to just drop and drag and not have a defined box before you put them in. So for example, if we are going and getting some Pinterest examples, let's say we want this like kind of funky type, and I'm gonna just drag this out and bring it into our. So without having like a defined shape in here already, I find that it's easiest to create a mood board. So when I am making this smaller, I'm pressing shift so that nothing gets skewed. No, I don't think you actually have to do that. That's more of like an InDesign thing. So if we wanted to crop this, we would double click in here and we see these black bars, and then you can crop into this. Let's say we want to drag and drop something else. So maybe it's more photography. Let's say it's this image here. So I like to make everything pretty neat and height-wise, so it's all kind of fitting. But if you wanted to make this bigger within the image, you might double click and then pull out. And then you can center it. Does that help, Angelica?
Yes. Okay, so we don't have to do like any of the shapes. We can just kind of place them however we want to place them. They don't need to be in some sort of frame.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't create any types of frames. I think it's easier, and then if, for example, like in our scavenger hunt, there was this more like vertical shape, you can kind of just create like this type of thing and just mimic the shape there. So that would be like an easy way to maybe work with a shape that's already in there.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not really sure what I did wrong at that time, but that looked a lot simpler in person in
No
class.
worries. I mean, it's always good to ask. But also if you get in there and you're having issues, we're going to start in class. So just, come off mute and let me know if you're having any issues. And
Okay,
then if we're not in class, feel free to email me.
will do. Thank you.
Hmm. Okay. So there's some more examples. Let me just make sure I've went through everything here. Yeah. All right. So there's some more mood board examples here at that link. This would be like a more digital mood board. This might be a branding mood board for a coffee brand, which is like maybe they have more of a summer vibe. This one we already saw. But you can start to get an idea of the typography you want to create, the vibe that you're going for, the images, the color palette. Are they more earth tones? Are they soft pastel colors? Is there more contrast? Like something like this? Are we using repetition, outline, strokes? Or is it something that's more vibrant, like this? Are we using images within shapes like this? Or is it more of a collage-y feel like this one? Okay, so once we get into Miro, we're gonna do this in two phases. So I'm gonna ask that you upload your 4 mood boards to Miro before class on Monday. And you're just gonna upload the mood boards themselves, not the pages that go before it. So just this 3, 5, 7, and 9. So the 4 mood boards. And you're gonna do that by going up to File, Download, JPEG. For whatever reason, you can't select multiple pages and do this, so you're just going to have to do it for each page. So you'll go click on the mood board that you've created here, download JPEG, and this will download page 3. You'll do the same thing for page 5, 7, and 9. And then you'll upload them here. So for instance, Dakota would upload his teen audience one here, his young adult audience one here, middle adult retiree audience here. So we're going to create these like columns of work. And then you'll each put your work in this row. So we're going to create 4 mood boards based on different target audiences. I've listed those 4 target audiences here, and then each of the 5 things that you should include within each mood board. So the aesthetic you want to convey, 3 words, 3 like adjectives or words that define that aesthetic you want to convey. And I would think about these, just be really specific about what you're going for. Previous assignments of this homework had like create a list of 10 different words, and I feel like that's too many. You want to be really specific with the adjectives and words that you're choosing. And then define the color palette with at least 4 color swatches, your typefaces, your images, and a short descriptive name. So then I've linked the lecture, the project instructions, and the project slides, all of the stuff that we just went over, and then also this worksheet. So if we go into that worksheet, we can see examples of all of these things. So for example, I want my teen audience to, a name for that overall feel might be recycle, remix, and repeat. So thinking about like a campaign name. A visual aesthetic for my teen audience would be bold, energetic, and pop culture inspired. This color palette might use bright neon accents like electric blue, hot pink, lime green. Maybe it's mixed with a dark charcoal or black for contrast. The type I want to be big, chunky, display fonts. Think streetwear or gaming vibes, and maybe a clean sans serif for smaller text. The imagery style, I want to create trendy icons, stickers, meme-like graphics. So maybe it's vibing off of skateboard or soccer culture. It has a fast-paced energy in the photography. Maybe they're like quick snapshots or collage style layouts. Maybe it's using that Polaroid effect. So the overall feel for this target audience would be loud, fun, attention grabbing. Maybe it's more like a social media post or a poster you'd actually want to share. So I've done that for each of the target audiences. And I think this might be a good workout to, or a good worksheet to work through before you start to put your mood board together. So this can kind of begin to define those elements before you start looking. But sometimes you might, get into it and be like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. So for example, if I'm going to go look for skateboard or soccer culture type imagery, there's a bunch of different places that you can go and look. You can look on stock sites like iStock, Getty, Shutterstock, or you can look through Pinterest or social media. Really, you can get images from anywhere at this point. This is not something that's going to be produced, so you have really anywhere that you can pull images from. So if I look for skateboard or soccer culture imagery, so I want something that's fast-paced. Maybe it's something more like this. And then I like Pinterest because when you search for a specific image, it gives you a bunch of other images that's similar to that. So it's great for mood boards. So you can start to see like, oh, this is a different perspective of photography, shooting up. So that might be more interesting, getting a different perspective, using this fisheye lens. So some of photography could use different lenses and things like that. But you want to start to define all of those elements. And so I also think it'd be really useful if you create specific folders, get into the habit of creating different folders for each of your assignments within this class. So if you have a folder for design concepts, within that folder, you're going to create a module 2 folder. And within that folder, you can have a folder for each mood board. So if I stop sharing that so I can share my whole screen. And I can see the chat right now, so if you have questions, just feel free to ask.
Someone had asked if we're allowed to use Canva and if the due date for the assignment that's today, is it moved back at all or is it still today?
No, it's updated. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, because we missed a day, so we're gonna move the due date to Monday.
Okay, and using the website Canva, is that all right?
So Canva is like kind of frowned upon within the design community because it is so easy to use that anyone can use it, but also it kind of limits you in what you can use, especially if you're using templates and things like that. So I wouldn't use Canva. I would start to just use Google Slides, or if you want to create, if you want to, have like different filters or things on your images, use Photoshop for that. And if you have questions, just let me know. If there's certain things that you guys want to do and you want to use like InDesign or Illustrator for it, just let me know like as it comes up and we can start to address those questions. Really, this class is more about the conceptual thinking as opposed to the execution.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. But yeah, that has kind of been a topic like within the design community and also just like within ACC visual communications. A lot of teachers will like forbid you from using Canva, and so then they really want you to start using the Adobe programs. But even though, this course you haven't gotten there yet, they're supposed to be making some tutorials for like Photoshop or InDesign specific to the homework, the later projects that we're going to have so that you can start to use those and really align with the courses that you'll be continuing to take as opposed to using Canva.
Is that going to change now that Canva has acquired Affinity? Has there been any like talk about the school like looking into Affinity or anything like that, or anything with designers you think that might change that perspective?
I don't
Just
think
curious.
so. I think it's sort of like one person said it was like PowerPoint for designers. Um, yeah, yeah, they don't like it. And I mean, no shade because a lot of the work that I've seen from Canva it's not great. So I think it's really useful to start to learn like Adobe Photoshop and InDesign and Illustrator and the programs that you are going to be using. Just like get more familiar with them and start playing in them. Even if you don't have like a specific assignment that you're going to be that you have to work in that program for.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's PowerPoint. Wow, that's kind of harsh. Okay. Understood. Yeah.
I mean, it was like PowerPoint for marketers essentially. So it's what PowerPoint was for marketers. Canva is to like everyone. So you want to distinguish yourself as designers by being able to use all of the Adobe programs.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So if we start to, organize your files really neatly, and if you have design concepts folder, for instance, like this, you're going to create a module 2 folder within that. So your file structure is really important, and then where you place the work is going to be really important as you start working so that you don't so that you're working efficiently and not losing time by looking for your files and where things are or deleting files by accident. That happens to all of us, but so if you create a mood board folder for each mood board, for example, for our first mood board, that's going to be the teen audience, and you just want to start to drag and drop images that you think are going to work for that target audience. So I like that one. Maybe it's something more like this too. These are similar. Maybe these three images might be visually giving the vibe that I want. Maybe the sans serif is something that could work as well.
Do the mood boards have to be about recycling, or is it more about like encapsulating the vibes of the target audiences?
It's you want to think about the recycling aspect as well. So it's the really mood board for the target audience within the recycling CTA, right? So you're essentially creating a flyer, a mood board for a flyer for recycling. Does that help? So you
Yeah.
want to think about that aspect too. Maybe the type that we're using is something more like this. More retro. So let's think about recycling. What? Maybe it's something that's more of a collage like this, or you want to think about like how recycling might work into it. So maybe all of the things that you might recycle all the products or like in this collage type effect. Maybe they're all photographed in this type of way, but be able to speak to that. So once we have some images that we like, we can start to go back to our mood board. Wherever it is, in all my tabs, here it is. And start to place those. And then see if they go together. If they don't go together, you can start creating, you can start editing. Okay, this one doesn't go. And then maybe pick a different one. Maybe it's this one that doesn't go. Okay, like this font doesn't really go, so I might start looking for a different font.
We're only looking at your Finder screen.
Oh. Dang. Okay. All right, so what I was saying was if you have the elements in your folder and then you start to just drag and drop them, place them within your mood board, you can start to see how they work or if they don't work, right? So maybe this one doesn't work, maybe this font doesn't work and I want to use something else. So we're just gonna start to work everything and make sure that it's cohesive. So that's an example of something you don't want to do. You don't want to start skewing the images like that, right? So you want to double click into the image and then place it however you need. And make sure it all aligns. You can have spaces, you cannot have spaces. These things are up to you. So let's get into it. We'll take like a 10-minute break and then we'll come back and start to design our mood boards. So let's come back at 7:10. No. So that's gonna be our final step, but we're gonna do some work before that. So I wouldn't submit just yet or, think about submitting that. We're gonna upload our work to to Miro first.
Okay. So I'm
So
I'm looking for like
the
I
target
guess the
audience.
more of like I guess the instructions, I guess that part of it.
If you go to Miro,
Oh, okay. So we have to go.
okay, so go to our important links in Blackboard.
Okay.
Yeah, one above our first module. Right there. The class Miro board. So that's what I was showing, our Miro board. That's where you're going to place your 4 mood boards as JPEGs. And then all of the important information for each project is going to be above the project board. So there's links right there to the lecture that we went over, the worksheet where I actually went through and created all of those aspects for each individual target audience, the project instructions, and then that slide deck that you'll be duplicating.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
I'll be right back.
Miss Yankee, are you there? I have a quick question. I don't know if I'm like thinking too hard, but for my mood board for the first one, the teenagers,
Mhm.
I had some kind of like a draft, but I don't know if I'm on the right track, especially when it comes to my colors. I put like a light blue with like a cream and a moss green and a brown, but then I guess like they're young and kind of playful, but I kind of went on more of the adventure route, and that's kind of where I wanted to get the idea of recycling, of making it an adventure. I don't know if I'm like on the right track with that, or do I need to change things? Because I have pictures of like of I guess young people like swimming or going on like hiking and kind of like making it an adventure type of thing. Since they play video games, that's an adventure. I kind of like thought of it that way, but
Yeah, I love the idea of gamifying something, this recycling so that they can, make fun out of it. So I think that's a great idea. And do you have questions more about like the visuals or your color palette?
yes and yes. Um, I chose like a baby blue or a light blue, I mean, like with a nice like a cream, I guess you can say. It's not like completely white, but like a cream and then like a moss green and like a brown, kind of like earthy tones a little bit.
Are you picking them like from an image or just kind of like, based off of this idea?
The image.
An image?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Let's see the image.
Okay. Can you see that? I need to zoom
Mm-hmm.
in.
Yeah.
Oops.
Control C is your best friend.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
That was kind of my idea, and then I kind of wrote some stuff here.
Oh, great. Loyal, responsible, playful. Yeah, I would just start to connect the colors, um, to this idea of adventure.
Okay. Okay. I
It's
guess I'm
outdoors. It's about the adventures that they go on outdoors, and maybe not leaving a trail behind, right?
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So start to like put it together in your mood board too, and I think that's when you'll see, is this really working? Maybe I need a bright color in there too. Maybe you need a yellow or like something, an orange that might be a bright alternative to your lighter colors or more neutral colors.
Oh, we can have more than four. What you're saying on here, we can add instead of taking one out.
Yeah, you can add
Okay.
at least four.
Oh, perfect.
Hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. How's everyone else doing? So, Ezekiel, are you having trouble with a certain area?
Just coming up with a topic.
Like a topic name?
Just a topic in general.
Hmm.
I don't know what to pick from.
I would start, you can Google or you can use Chat GPT if you want of like, what kind of hobbies do teens have or what, topics might you come up with from the idea of teens recycling. I like the idea of gamifying it that Angelica has. Is there something that you can think of that they might do in their everyday life where they might, maybe they're going to school, maybe they're on a school bus. What are some things that they do in their everyday life that could possibly relate to recycling or make recycling interesting to them? What did you do as a teenager?
I guess I'll just stick with video games as a general topic, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you can also, I think ChatGPT is helpful to like get ideas started. You don't want to use it in like the execution phase, but just to kind of get some ideas going for you. Just pop it, like, let me see what it comes up with right now. Like, what type of video games were you into? So it came up with so many. The idea of like leveling up and progression, recycle to level up, XP for the planet. I'm not sure what that means. From noob to eco pro, or it could be more challenges and competition based. It could be more about like a storyline in a game world. It could be strategy and skill based, like think before you toss, or more tech and futuristic vibes. System reboot. Do you use ChatGPT?
Yeah, I think I like that level up idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll
You
run
can
with
start
that.
prompting it too and just, start to get ideas for
Right.
those different audiences. And then when you get into the visuals, then that's the part that you really want to put together on your own.
Yeah.
Cool. Try that. Let me know how that goes.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Alo,
Là em muốn mua sữa hả làm?
không có.
Hết sữa luôn.
Ừ. Không có gà, không có củ gà.
Ok, không có sữa luôn, cảm ơn. Không có sữa chi luôn hả? Không có sữa tươi chi luôn hả?
Sữa khác có nhưng mà
Không
như
em nói tao đi, em cần sữa mà.
thì giờ nhờ ai đi mua đi.
Nhờ ai làm? Bye. Dạ. Nghe.
Great. How's everyone doing so far?
I can show my I just do the first 14 nature.
Okay. Yeah, let's see it.
So uh so like after I read the description of teen audience like I think I I think their visual aesthetics like bold, playful, and energetic, pop culture driven. Uh, I'm gonna use color palette like bright color and more saturation, like sky blue or fresh grass green and yellow of summer. About typography, like I think something like cute, like energy, like and young. So I use round type, distort the shape of font, and sans serif. Uh, overfeel like I feel teen are playful and enjoy your life, confident with bright future. So this is some image to show the vibe I gonna do like
Nice.
you can see the sky blue more
Hmm.
saturation yellow and like something yeah fresh green like this and the this is the kind of font I gonna use
Hmm.
like
Yeah, this type of font, like a thicker font, maybe that's like kind of funky and has a different vibe to it. In your descriptions, I like the words that you were using to describe this a little bit better than the ones that you have there, like visual aesthetics. You said young, bright, fun, playful. So instead of maybe some of the ones that we already saw in the example, like pop culture driven or um, energy, like on your second page.
like but I have a difficult with like because I'm not American so I don't know like English words about like different type of design like
Yeah,
call it art or
but
something.
oh,
uh,
I'm just saying the way you were using that, the words you were using to describe what you were thinking, I like better than what you have written there. So I would just update those on page 2 to the ones that you were using just naturally in conversation.
okay. O- okay, I stop 7.
But yeah, this looks really, yeah. That looks cool. And then I would just continue adding to that to make sure you have enough images and all of the other elements.
For the, I have a question with the assignment as well. For the typography, how specific do we need to be? Are we, naming stuff like Times New Roman or naming them, or how did you want that to be? And as far as the pictures as well, can we do we need to use different pictures? Because I kind of use pictures of like friends together, but I don't know if I need to like switch it up a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, as long as it's not like not the exact same images, which I don't think anyone could do even if you guys tried, unless you're like working together. Um, no, I think they can be similar imagery. As long as you can kind of speak to the photography or images that you're choosing and why you chose them, I think that that's more important than like the specific images that you're using, right? So as long as you have an idea or thought behind them, like this is a person who's extroverted and they like going out with friends, and so I wanted to kind of capitalize on that. In terms of the type and how specific to get with that, you can, have a screenshot of the font that you're thinking of using. On Adobe Fonts, you can also put in, certain words. So you can use those words that you're using to describe your aesthetic, like bold, playful. You can type those in and take a screenshot of what that font looks like in those words, or even the title of your mood board could be in that font. So you can use a photograph, or you can, like get it on Adobe Fonts and use certain specific words in that font that you're thinking. But yeah, I would like you to get a little bit specific with like these types of fonts.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? How's it going? Anyone want to share where they're at?
Okay. Like so far, I just had like the images. But hold on. So this is what I have like so far.
Okay. And what's the thinking behind those images?
Because it would the for the first one is like for teens, like getting jobs, earning money. So I was thinking like maybe show like somebody with money, young with money, and then put um other like of like somebody walking a dog or something that they would do to earn, and also cutting the grass. So
Yeah,
that's what I have so far.
okay. I would, before you kind of jump into the visual aesthetics too, I would do that part on page 2 where you start to define those things. Did you do that for this
No, I
slide?
haven't gotten. So I need to you want us to like define it first and then jump into the images?
Yes, because I think that's
Okay.
going to help you in the direction that you go with that imagery and what you're going to choose.
Okay.
And then on that mood board page, I think some of your images were getting a little skewed. So I want to make sure that that's not happening. When you go to place the image, make sure that you're sizing it correctly so that the images aren't getting skewed either horizontally, like squished, or vertically.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Heath. Anyone else want to share where they're at?
I have one. Let me see if I get this right.
Nice.
You can actually, okay, everything changed on my screen when I did that.
Oh yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. So what's your thinking behind this mood board?
Well, I was going for outdoor adventure, but I don't think anyone picked fishing because I like to fish when I was also video games and all that stuff too, but I like to fish too when I was a teenager.
Mhm.
So I was kind of going with that.
Cool. I like the photography. I would also make sure that you're showing like the visual aesthetic of what you would want your recycling ad to be, as opposed to just like photographic instances of fishing, right?
Okay.
More of like the adventure, the excitement behind fishing and the value that it brings to your life. And how it relates to recycling, right? Like how might
Well, I was thinking that, if you environmental type stuff also maybe.
Yep. Cool.
Thanks.
All right. Anyone else want to share where they're at?
I can go. Let's share my screen. This is what I've come up with so far for my mood board number 1. The words I've kind of gathered were grunge, fun, and spontaneous based on what I've read about that target audience. And these is what I've put together so far.
Oh, nice.
It's very vibrant colors, hanging out with friends, video games, and soccer. And I really like these fonts here. They're really fun.
Yeah, they have their own different like vibe to it. I like the drip drop one too.
But I'm trying to organize them all in a
Yeah.
better way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and once you have them on the board, now you can kind of see what's working and what's not. Make sure that they're all in your folder so that like if you delete something and then you want to add it back, you still have it.
Yeah, so I made a little folder with all my Pinterest finds. I think it's just a matter of collaging everything together.
Awesome. And then in terms of your color palette, you might want to think like, okay, what's the background color? What would the text be? Um, are they gonna, how can they work together essentially?
Right. Okay.
Thanks, Angel. Anyone else want to share where they're at?
I can share. My microphone's working again.
Awesome.
Here. So, this is kind of what I went for. I thought of like, since instead a lot of like pop culture, I don't know why I thought of like Cher from Clueless. Well, mainly because like I remember in part of the movie she goes on to actually work on like that environmental class or whatever. And so I thought about like the computer she had and how you can recycle like fashion in a way. So like go to like thrift stores all the time. I don't in my screen it shows like all of your faces. I don't know if you can see like the back of it, but there's like a thrift store or like magazines or like I know like a lot of times like that digital camera is very, very popular to use. So I thought of like almost like decorating like as if it was a poster or something, like decorate with that, but keep it as if it was like be like share like as if I would waste that or like cute outfit, same planet, clueless but not careless. Like kind of keep it as like that, like nostalgia. Because I know also a lot of the times we really like to go back to like other movies or like we reuse a lot of the style from back then. So that's kind of what I was going for. And then like these are like the fonts that I thought of. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I would think about how those fonts work together, right? Do you
Mhm.
need something that's a little bit more legible, as a body text or something for a subhead, and what would be the display font, what would be the headline. And then in
Okay.
terms of your imagery, I like that you have a lot of patterns and some textures, like the paper texture. I would look for an image where that is being used as opposed to an image of like a sheet of paper. I would
Mhm.
look for an image that has that texture of paper. So you can start to visualize how this will all come together. Maybe you look for an
Okay.
image of like, you know, a digital camera in real life, or like what type of lifestyle images would you use? What, you know, what certain aesthetic to the photography? Is it tinted? Does it have like a certain look from that era?
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Miranda. All right, looks like you guys are well on your way with the first mood board. Um, I would just continue working through all of those, and remember to develop your, define your 3 words, color palette, typefaces. Like think about that first page in the deck before you get to the second page. If I could find it. Because that will help you define what type of visuals you want to look for. So defining those 3 words, and then think about the color palette and the aesthetic that you want to go for. I think that target audience worksheet also will help. This one that I'm going to share my screen, that defines the visual aesthetic, color palette, typography, imagery style. You can also use that as a guide. You know, if you're kind of stumped for ideas, I think it's helpful to use ChatGPT, but don't let it like define your ideas. So just use it to come up with more ideas. You can use that and use it as a prompt, like define 4 fully defined concepts written in this exact structure, and then it'll come up with 4 different ones. And then you need to think about, you know, do these make sense? Is this what I want to go for? And then, you know, kind of tailor it to your thinking. Or you can, if you have an idea, like, you know, define these 4 things for a look that is similar to Clueless, right? And then start to put that together. So
Where's that at?
remember, mhm.
Where did you find the M2 target board? Is that in the module too, or I'm sorry I
It's not
missed
in the
that.
module because it's something I kind of just put together before class, but it's this worksheet in Miro.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this information is like important information that basically all of the information you need for each project is going to be right above the Miro board for that project. And then when you start to put your mood boards here, remember we're duplicating this and making your own copy, and then going to File, Download JPEG. And you want to be on the current slide. So for instance, this will be your first mood board. You make a JPEG of that, and then you'll drop it into the mood board here, right next to your name. So you'll drop your teen audience one here, your young adult one here, middle adult, and then retiree. So we want to have those 4 mood boards in the Miro board before class on Monday. Any questions about that? I'm going to let you guys go continue working as you, and as you're working, feel free to email me if you have questions. I have office hours tomorrow at 3 p.m. as well. If you're, you know, stumped on something, or if you want to create something in Photoshop and have questions on how to do that, I can help walk you through any of that stuff during office hours. All right, All right, if there's nothing left, I'll let you guys go. If you have questions and you want to hang back, feel free to do so. But have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you on Monday, hopefully in person. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Miss Yagi,
Yeah.
a quick question.
Yes.
Just to make sure, the mood boards, they can all be different, right? Not the same type of visual, like colors and images.
Yes, they all should be different because they're because they're specific to different target audiences.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm thinking way too hard on this.
That's okay. You have good questions, so I think it's helpful.
Oh, thank you.